are surrounded by goals. They're the center of every movie and book, but they're not just found inside of our sources of entertainment. Goals play large roles in each of our daily lives. It could be getting an A on that science test, making the track team, nailing that job interview, or in my case, getting my black belt. But what exactly is a goal? To put it simply, a goal is just something that you work towards. However, we all know it's not quite that easy. It takes determination, planning, time, a little help, and work. Lots of it. Looking at it this way, achieving goals can seem nearly impossible, and with countless resources on goal achievement, it can seem overwhelming. Through the process of setting and seeing my own goals through, I managed to break it down into 5 easy steps that can make it possible for anyone to achieve their goals. Step 1. I call this first step the discovery. This is when you find something you feel passionate or driven to accomplish. For 7-year-old me, this was becoming a ninja. Oh yes, the mask, the nunchucks, the throwing stars, the whole 9 yards. But I realized pretty quick that becoming a ninja at age 7 was a little unrealistic. So I broke it down a bit and decided to work towards getting my black belt. From there, I broke it down even further. I began to set smaller goals that would lead me towards my ultimate objective. Some of these small goals consisted of mastering each kick, combination, and punch, leading me into step number 2. I call this step the planning phase. This is one of the most important steps when it comes to achieving goals. In this stage, you can set timelines and find others who can help you achieve your objective. But it's not all about the logistics. At this point, it's important to find others. It's at this point that you can find your support team or your cheerleaders. For me, this was my mom, my dad, and my little brother. These 3 were always there for me. I was fortunate enough to have such encouraging friends and family that when I decided to turn in my tutu, retire from tumbling, and insist on becoming a ninja, they had no objections signing me up for martial arts classes. We found a karate place for me to learn, and it was here that I met instructors that further taught me all that I needed to achieve my black belt. However, with the help and encouragement of close friends and family, I still had to do it myself. We've all heard the saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. The same goes with goal achievement. I mean, regardless of the support of others, you've still got to put in the time and effort to make it work. Shooting stars and birthday wishes can only get you so far, leading me into step number 3. I call this the stage of action. This is when you're doing what it takes to achieve your goal. For me, this was going to class 3 to 4 times every week to both learn and practice. Through absorbing all that my instructors had to teach me and giving 110% in class, I was getting closer to achieving my goal. While this works for me, it's important to realize that all goals are different. While some small goals can be completed in an afternoon, others can take days, weeks, or even months to fully finish. For me, it took me 4 years. 4 years of commitment and work. However, it didn't feel like work. I loved going to class, I loved learning, and I loved pushing myself to do my very best. However, like any goal, I still had my ups and downs. There were times I didn't want to go to class, wanted to take a break, or simply quit. Sure, they didn't last long, but in these moments, I had to really think about what I wanted, leading me into step number 4. I call this the stage of evaluation. Sometimes it can take some replanning to make a goal come together in the end. This could be resetting timelines, finding more help, or even changing your goal into something slightly more realistic and achievable. I was always taught Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's true. Goals are hard work. There will always be times that you want to quit or take a break, but you've got to persevere through it if this is something that you really enjoy doing. It helps to think back to what you wanted to accomplish and why it was so important to you. For little 7-year-old me, I wanted to be a ninja because it was different and exciting. It was something new. However, when you make a large commitment, sometimes necessary in achieving goals, you have to learn how to balance other obligations as well. Keeping up on classes, homework, and chores can be overwhelming. This is when I need to take a deep breath, step back, and think back to my goal, why I started, and why I strive to achieve it. I remember the feeling of accomplishment, leading me into step number 5. This is my very last step. I call it success. This is when you've done everything needed to complete your goal. First of all, congratulations. Big or small, you did it. Give yourself a pat on the back and enjoy the feeling of achievement. From here, you can do one of 2 things. The first option is to walk away. You did what you came to do, and now you're off to set and achieve new goals. The second option is to keep going and set an even harder goal. Either way, anyone should be proud of the level of commitment and perseverance necessary for doing whatever it was that you accomplished. This could have been completing hours of homework, beating a personal record, or even getting a job you applied for. After I got my black belt, I had to think if this was something that I wanted to continue doing. I took a little time off and tried something new, but found myself desperately missing karate. I had found that my goals had become so important to who I was that I couldn't quite picture myself without them. I decided to continue doing karate. I set a new goal and worked hard for a little over 2 years, getting out of chokeholds, breaking boards, and learning complex combinations in order to get my second-degree black belt. This past winter, I took the both mentally, physically, and draining 4-hour-long black belt test. And once again, the familiar sense of teamwork and unity between the candidates and I returned. After just about 4 years of intense training, it was then that I achieved yet another goal and received my second-degree black belt. But once I finished, I found myself thinking back to when I first started karate. Little 7-year-old me, heart set on being a ninja. Through the process of setting and seeing my goals through, I've learned a lot, and not just self-defense. I've learned the importance of being confident, stepping out of my comfort zone, trying new things, and setting more ambitious goals, like working towards my third-degree black belt, which, if my calculations are correct, I'll have by junior year of high school. And only then will I have completed my goal of becoming a ninja. Thank you.